All right, migrant war in San Diego. Now, San Diego, one of my favorite American cities. Beautiful climate, easy to get around, not like LA, manageable. Been there, I know, dozens of times. But San Diego has changed. So now the San Diego County Board of Supervisors has blocked 3-1, voted 3-1 to block any cooperation with Homeland Security in getting criminal migrants into the federal system. So if you are undocumented, you commit a crime in San Diego, they will not tell Homeland Security anything about you by a 3-1 vote. The sheriff of San Diego says she isn't going to obey that law. Kelly Martinez is her name, that she is going to cooperate with U.S. Immigration and Customs, ICE. And we invited the sheriff on the program, but for some reason she doesn't want to come on. I don't know why. You would reach millions of people, Sheriff, but she's not coming on. Instead, we have a guy who knows a lot about San Diego. His name is Mike Slater. I've heard of him. He's on the First. He does my hard news portion on radio, syndicated radio, all over the country, 300 stations. And he joins us now from Nashville, where, interestingly enough, Slater moved about a year ago from San Diego, where he had lived for 12 years. Why'd you move, first of all, to Tennessee?
Gee, I don't know, maybe reasons like this, Bill? Maybe they let illegal alien rapists take sanctuary in the city that I called home. That, among other reasons. My wife's also from Tennessee. But you don't have to live in these progressive bastions.
So you moved out of one of the nicest places, climate-wise, because you were fed up with the politics?
Oh, yeah. Listen, the weather's only so nice, and the beach is only worth it for so long. It's wonderful. Seasons are beautiful, wonderful things. We like snow. It's good. It's good for the soul. And Nashville is a wonderful, beautiful place. It's good to be here with people who share your values.
Okay. Now, a lot of people have done what you've done. They've moved to red states from blue states. But San Diego, historically, has not been San Francisco. Because of the military bases, the Marines are down there, Navy's down there. It was a conservative place up until recently. Is that true?
Yeah. So when I moved there 12 years ago, San Diego was a bastion of conservatism in crazy, wacky California. They had a Republican mayor, largest city in the country with a Republican mayor. The city council was 5-4 Republican, largest city council majority in the country. And the county, the Board of Supervisors, which population-wise, the county of San Diego, 3.3 million, is bigger than like 23 or 24 states. So it's you have 5 county supervisors who are in charge of a lot of people. That was 5-0 Republican, Bill. 5-0. Today, 9-0 Democrat City Council. This just happened over a decade period. 9-0 Democrat City Council. The wackiest mayor you can imagine. If you have a minute, I'll tell you what I think is the craziest example of him. And the Board of Supervisors, which just passed this super sanctuary city bill you were speaking of, is now 3-2 Democrat, very soon to be 4-1. So it is no longer a bastion of conservatism in any way.
Why did that happen?
Yeah, a couple reasons. People go back and they blame the loss of the aerospace industry in the 80s, which lost a lot of its conservative influence. A lot of conservatives left for that reason. There's more people there, so the military influence you spoke of is not as prominent as it was before. Price of housing has gone up so much that a lot of the military people who used to call San Diego home for years and decades after their retirement and leaving the military, they've left. So you don't have that legacy of military experience anymore as well. Then I believe you have a lot of people coming from San Francisco and LA, where, as you said, it's not nearly as nice as San Diego. Things are much cheaper, easier, more manageable, as you said, to come down to San Diego. So you've had an influx. You also had a lot of illegal immigration. And there's I read an interesting analysis before that Texas attracts a certain type of immigrant, Hispanic immigrant specifically, and California is a magnet for a different type of Hispanic immigrant. Right now, 1/3 of Californians are on some form of government welfare. Everyone may remember a story from a couple months ago where the assembly voted to give $150,000 of a down payment to a house to illegal aliens things like that attract a certain type of immigrant versus maybe a Texas, which attracts a more entrepreneurial and conservative-minded illegal immigrant or immigrant as well. So over decades, I believe California is a bit of a lost cause. Much was made of the fact that 10 counties out of the 58 in California flipped from blue to red. And people saw that as very hopeful and exciting. And wow, isn't this great? A new conservative renaissance in California. Now, those were all inland California counties that have been historically red for a long time. They should be red. And Kamala won California 63-34.
Yeah.
There is no conservative movement in California.
Well, even if there were, the big cities are going to dominate. Now, Tom Homan, the new, his job is basically to get tough on the border. This San Diego thing has caught his eye. According to reporting in the New York Post, Homan favors arresting the woman in charge of San Diego County, actually having federal authorities go there and put her in handcuffs. And maybe even the mayor, who you'll tell us about in a moment. What do you think that's possible, that the feds could go in if they don't cooperate, the county doesn't cooperate in telling Homeland Security, hey, we just took into custody so-and-so who's here illegally for the charge of rape or a homicide, whatever it may be. They're not even going to tell Homeland Security that. And it seems to me that's interfering with the federal investigation because the Trump administration made it quite clear these people have to be deported.
Yeah, it's always been very frustrating to me when you hear even congressmen say we need to pass comprehensive immigration reform. Yeah. They're like, no. All the laws are on the books. You just need to enforce the laws. And Tom Homan, I don't have it off the top of my head. I'm not the border czar, but he rattles it off like U.S. code, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, and we researched it. There's no doubt they don't have to pass new laws, but they should. Tighten everything up. But anyway, what do you think the odds are that the head of the San Diego Board of Supervisors is going to be in cuffs and charged with interfering in a federal agency? That would send the message to everybody.
Yeah, I think it's her, and he's really focusing on the mayor of Chicago. I think that would be his first target, Chicago maybe a little less sympathetic.
Brandon Johnson. Right.
Yeah, he's less sympathetic than Nora Vargas would be in California. But if I may one thing, Bill, I want to make sure that your listeners don't think that the new sheriff of San Diego, who was just elected 2 years ago, replaced a guy who was there for like 20 years, that she's some sort of hero in this. In California, there is no conservative influence. So you have crazy Democrats and radical Democrats. Kamala was a radical Democrat. Nora Vargas, a radical Democrat. This sheriff is just a crazy Democrat. So while she's saying she's against the county decision to tell ICE about illegal alien rapists and child rapists, right? That's radical. She's against that. She's no hero, though.
Okay, but maybe that's why she won't come on the program. Maybe that's why she won't face me.
Of course not. She has no reason to. The right doesn't exist to her. There is no common sense.
All right,
good.
I did not know that. I'm glad you defined that. Okay, last question. So the mayor of San Diego is what, a loon?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so there's a whole backstory. Todd Gloria is his name. Here's my favorite Todd Gloria story. When he was an assemblyman in California, he passed a bill that said children in foster care will get free sex change surgeries paid for by the taxpayer if you are in foster care. This was the beginning, him and another state senator, Scott Wiener, which is total radical. This was the beginning of a system of encouraging children to talk to their school counselors, to say lies to CPA, to get their children into the foster care system in order to get sex change operations. This is a Todd Gloria movement. It has happened many times before. There are mothers who have told their story of how this has worked. That was Todd Gloria in the assembly. And the people of San Diego, what used to be this conservative bastion, Bill O'Reilly, beautiful place, like the pinnacle of just California, loving and California, everything's amazing. They voted him to be mayor, and they just voted for him to be reelected.
Okay.
We've lost San Diego.
That's too bad. It really is. Yeah. Hey, Mike, Merry Christmas. Thanks for helping us out. We'll talk soon, okay?
Merry Christmas, Bill.
All right. President Trump's victory is a win for America. That's what most voters think. But Bidenomics has left us with a failing economy. I rely on American Hartford Gold to protect my savings with physical gold and silver, and you should consider that. American Hartford Gold has thousands of five-star ratings and an A+ from the Better Business Bureau. A tax-advantaged gold IRA can shield you from worsening inflation. You can even roll over your 401k or IRA tax-free and penalty-free. So act now before it's too late. Call or text American Hartford Gold. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you for up to $15,000 of free silver on qualifying orders. Call 866-501-5201 or text BILL to 65532. That's 866-501-5201 or text BILL to 65532. Smart life. You want to live to be 100? I do not. Okay? I don't want to ever be dependent on anybody. So as long as I'm healthy, as long as I'm functional, good. I'll do the best I can. But when I decline and when you're 100, come on. Okay? So I'm fine with saying adios, amigos. So health.com, they did a study of a bunch of people who are 100 years and older to find out what foods they ate to keep them alive. And here are the foods. Beans, we all know that. Leafy greens, yep, we know that too. Nuts and seeds, I eat cashews, they're good. Seeds, I'm not a big seed fan. Whole grains, okay. Controls blood sugar, very important. Olive oil, excellent. That's a Mediterranean diet. Turmeric, I don't know what that is, but it's some kind of thing you put in your food. Sweet potatoes, love them. Seafood, big on seafood. Okay. Fruit, here's my dilemma. I do eat fruit every day, but I also drink fruit juice, and that's loaded with sugar. So I'm trying to get a line on how much fruit juice I can drink without raising my blood sugar. It's hard. Anybody knows, let me know. And then tea. I drink Japanese tea, Chowa. You can get it on the internet. And I have nothing to do with the company. Okay? CHO-WA. It's Japanese tea. Raises your immune system. Tastes awful. Okay? But you got to tough it out. And if it's hot and it's cold outside, it's not so bad. All right. The Reagan movie. Dennis Quaid, Penelope Miller, John Voight. Big hit. Did very, very well. And as you know, I produced a movie, executive producer, along with Ridley Scott, Scott Free, called Killing Reagan, based on my book. And that was very successful. But the Reagan movie did very well. It was released August 30th last summer. And now it's out in DVD for Christmas. Good stuffing stuffer, all right? Now, I did not know this because I didn't see the Reagan movie because I was too busy and I have my own movie and whatever, but I'll watch it. Gene Simmons from Kiss provided some of the music for the Reagan movie. Roll it.
I can't go on. Everything I have is gone. Stormy weather. Since you and I and me and you ain't together, keeps raining all the time.
Wow, a little Nat King Cole-ish there. Mr. Simmons joins us from Los Angeles. So why did you get involved with this?
When my mother came to America with yours truly, I was 8.5 years old. We are immigrants. We are legal immigrants. And as far as I'm concerned, I was born in the promised land. But let me tell you something. America is the promised land.
Now, you came from Israel? Is that where you came from?
I don't look Swiss, do I?
No, you don't. Not at all.
That's right. That's where I was born, yeah. And came to America and discovered that anything is possible. There are no limits, no nothing. And despite the fact that people agree and disagree and all that stuff, this is still the light and will continue to be the light that shines the world.
Did you admire Ronald Reagan? Did you admire him?
I did. I was much younger, obviously, when he was president, and I knew nothing, almost nothing about the body of politics. But interestingly, in hindsight, it bears noting that the political and pop culture figures of any age were always about the impression, the ability to communicate a feeling, and perhaps that's more important, the power of the personality than what's written on a piece of paper. And now imagine a different president trying to communicate with Gorbachev and literally causing that wall to come down, which resulted in the fall of communism.
Did you take any heat? Because you know how liberal and progressive Hollywood is where you live. You take any heat from contributing to this film? How
do I say this as nicely as I can? I don't give a squat.
No, I know that. But did you take any?
Yes.
You see, but that's wrong. Isn't it wrong?
Well, everybody's entitled to an opinion. It doesn't, it falls off.
Yeah, but they shouldn't take it out. They should try to hurt you because of your opinion. That's what they do out there.
Well, that is probably true. I think it is the bastion of a certain political leaning of the thing, but that's okay. I have
not okay with me, Gene.
Friend. John Voight and I hang out. We trade stories and everything else.
Right.
And some people agree with his politics, some not. But everybody gives to charity. Everybody loves children, and so think about the stuff that we agree with instead of the stuff that we don't.
Well, you're bringing a level-headed approach, but there's some malevolent, evil people in the motion picture industry and the music industry to boot that I'll deal with them. You don't have to. You've seen it all. And the music industry has changed so much. Give my audience one big change that you have witnessed in the arc of your career.
Unfortunately, the business model is dead, and new bands don't have a chance, especially rock bands. In a certain way, rock is finally dead. Rock and roll is dead because the freckle-faced kid next door to you, who's a good kid and good family and everything, has become feels entitled to be able to download and file share and get all this music for free.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that people don't understand this. It's like, so what? You're too rich to care. Why do you care? Well, imagine you work for a living, you write a book, you sell groceries or whatever, and people don't pay you for the work that you put in. Then you understand. Then you say, well, wait a minute. I worked for this. How come I don't get paid? And that's what's happening with new artists. And it breaks my heart because
and they're not rich. They're creative, and they're trying to get to a platform where they're self-sustaining. Right. And you can't now because of the internet. Well, very, very fascinating. I'm going to bring you back. And once you start your tour, let us know. We'll take some video of it. We'll bring it back. You're an interesting guy. I've known Simmons for a long time. I never painted my face like Kiss. I have to admit it. I'm much too handsome to do that. See, my theory is these guys had to do that. I don't have to. I want you to have a nice Hanukkah and a very nice celebration on the West Coast. My best to everybody, Gene. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, young man.
Okay, cheers. By now, you have heard me talk about Delta Rescue. They are a fantastic organization that helps rescue animals from the wilderness. You know, I'm a dog lover, so is Leo Grillo, the founder of Delta Rescue. It is his life's mission to provide everlasting care for these once abandoned animals. I myself have donated to Delta Rescue. Do you believe it is part of man's duty to care for dogs and horses, the animals that so much of our history is tied to? If so, please consider making a donation or consult your advisor about leaving a gift in your will or trust. There can be some tax advantages, and it's a great way to help Delta Rescue accomplish their mission. So please visit deltarescue.org to learn more. That's deltarescue.org. All right, another enterprise, News Nation, is doing well. It's increasing its audience, and it's not ideological, and I am on it. That's not why it's increasing, because I don't do that many spots. I do a morning on Wednesday with Marky Martin. I do Leland Vittert on Monday, and I do Cuomo tonight on Wednesday. So I want to show you 3 sound bites in case you haven't checked that out. The first one is I had to, when I started doing this, and this soundbite is from June 5th this year, I had to kind of educate Cuomo a little bit. Go. I know a lot, Cuomo, and you'd be very wise to listen very closely. So Hunter Biden and Hunter Biden and Donald Trump have one big thing in common. Do you know what it is?
They both like crack cocaine.
Ooh, that's a libel suit right there on you.
I had a question mark at the end of it.
They're both playing the victim. Okay. The second soundbite is about Kamala Harris, all right, not answering any questions. You remember when Bret Baier at Fox interviewed her, he got, I think it was 24 minutes. He was able to ask 11 questions, and the vice president did not answer one of them. Here's what I said. Go. That's insulting to the audience. You see, well, if you ask somebody a question in your personal life, hey, Mabel,
right.
What kind of car is that? And they go, I like pancakes. What? No,
Okay.
I asked you what kind of car that
That's
was.
fair.
You see what I mean? Okay, so we like to have some humor and stuff like that going on in these segments. And the third one, Stephen A. Smith, who you saw there, is on again. And Stephen A., he gets serious, you know, with Cuomo. And he said, look, I like to be around smart people. And then I replied, go.
That's high
number 3
praise.
for Stephen A. I don't want to be surrounded by smarter people. That's why I do the Cuomo show. All right. If I wanted to be surrounded by smarter people, I wouldn't be sitting here tonight.
Right.
Present company, Stephen A. excluded.
Yeah,
of
good,
course.
smart move.
Okay, so we'll be on tonight. You might want to check it out. It's a good flow back and forth. And News Nation, I appreciate the fact that I'm on there, and it's a network that has a lot of potential. Smart Life. So 6.5 million Americans have second homes. I didn't know that. And that's not a lot. All right, that's less than 5% of the population. I mean, it costs enough to keep one home. But 6.5 million have second homes. Some of them vacation homes, some of them are rental properties, whatever it may be. There are certain states that are friendlier if you want to buy a second home. And so as of 2022, Florida led the league. So 1 million Americans have second homes in Florida. Wyoming was last, only 16,000 second homes. Wyoming's a spectacular state, and the real estate is reasonable. A little tip for you, Smart Life. But anyway, here are the top 10 markets for people buying swanky second homes. First, number 1, Cape May County, New Jersey. That's the tip of New Jersey. That gets New York and Philadelphia money. Gulf County, Florida, they're going for the weather and proximity to the Gulf of Mexico. Walton County, Florida, very reasonable to live in Walton County. Barnstable County, Massachusetts, that is Cape Cod. Collier County, Florida. Coconino County, Arizona, don't know much about that. Maui County, after the fire, though, that's fallen off. Beaufort County, that's the low country in South Carolina, very reasonable, very pretty, a little humid. New York County, New York, that's Manhattan, Petit-Terres. People buy small apartments there. And Newport County, Rhode Island, a premier destination. If you haven't been to Newport, put it on your list. So if you're looking for a second home, those are the top 10. And the reason I'm telling you this in a Smart Life segment is, number 1, you can visit. And number 2, if you buy a home, you want to make money on it. Okay, you don't want to buy, in the middle of you don't want to buy right now in Aurora, Colorado. You don't want to go there. There's a lot of gangs. Okay, you want to go to these places. Smart Life. These astronauts, boy, this is an update. Suni Williams, Butch Wilmore. So they go up on June 5th, all right? They were supposed to spend about a week in space. They're still there. They can't get home. Boeing can't get them out of there. And now they say that it'll be March or even April before they're back home. And they've been up there. We're packed for a week and we're gone 6 months. Now, this again goes back to the Biden administration. They run NASA and Boeing, a lot of problems. They're stranded up there. They're okay, they're safe, but they can't get them back. Boy, I mean, is this federal government screwed up? Yeah. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.